welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform, to become your spiritual server. And welcome Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Capricorn Rising to part 1 of your July 2018 report. Thanks so much for joining me on this video. And I'm going to be drawing cards from multiple decks. I have the Shadowscapes Tarot. I also have the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards. And then I also have my colored card deck as well. So we'll be drawing cards, talking a little bit about the astrology. This reading is going to apply for the whole month, even though it is part 1. Part 2 is going to be more of an intuitive horoscope, where I do more of a channeled writing, and then just kind of give you a quick message, and maybe I'll draw one card or something for like part 2. But this one, like I said, is going to apply for the whole month. Mainly just been drawing cards for all the signs, and we have a very powerful month. I've been saying that, of course, to all the signs, and I know it probably sounds like a broken record, but it really is though. Why? Well, we have Chiron, which has gone retrograde. We have Jupiter, which comes direct actually today, as of the day that I'm making this, on Tuesday, is going to come direct. We also have 2 eclipses, a new Moon Solar Eclipse in Cancer, your opposite sign. That's going to be on Thursday of this week. And then we also have, at the end of the month, a lunar eclipse in Aquarius. And, of course, Mercury retrograde at the end of the month. So, jam-packed month with a lot of transformative energies. We're really stepping into a portal that's going to lead us to the new world. But what does this mean for you, Capricorn? Well, let's go ahead and consult the cards and find out. That card kind of came diagonal. So let's see what it was. We have your card. We have the world. So this literally does mean that a new world is opening up. I just want to look at this card for a second, see if I notice any of the details. Because I've been noticing with this deck that as I look at it more in depth, that there are more details that continue to be revealed to me. But this is very awesome and very interesting. This is the World card. And you know what the funny thing is that, you can see that she's holding this orb, and it could be the moon. And it's interesting how this is your card, but the moon is in there, which reminds me of Cancer, which is your opposite sign. So I'm thinking that what she's actually holding in her hand is actually a pearl. And it's kind of where it's like, the world is your oyster, and you are the pearl. And pearls take time to be manifested and create, but they're also very beautiful, and they're like this symbol of the divine feminine energy. So it's interesting how I feel like you especially understand what it means to become the pearl, because you, out of most of the signs, understand what hard work means. You're willing to put in the hard work. You're willing to, go through the battle of attrition to climb the mountain and to achieve these worldly desires, to achieve these accolades, these wants, the kind of achieve this level of success. So yes, the world is really going to be opening up to you. And it's interesting, like I said, with this new Moon Solar Eclipse, this for you is happening in Cancer, your 7th house. So this has a lot to do with relationships, right? And first and foremost, the relationship that you have with yourself and the divine. But we also have to consider that it's going to be directly opposed Pluto, which is in your sign. So your relationships are about to go through a major shift, because you're about to go through a major shift. Like literally, like your personality and who you are is about to go through a major shift. Because what? Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. I like to think of it as a wrecking ball. And as it's been going through Capricorn, it has been wrecking our sense of order, tradition, politics. And it's just been going back and forth, bam, 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 how we view ourselves in the world. So how you view yourself in the world right now is going to shift forever. And this is going to naturally affect your relationships, okay? So that's the first card. Let's see what else we have in store. Oh, 2 cards just came flying out. We have the 4 of Wands, and we also have the Knight of Wands. Let's draw one more card for that, just to see what's going on here. The Knight of Wands and the 4 of Wands. So the Knight of Wands could be a fire sign, an Aries, a Leo, or Sag. I'm feeling more Leo or Sag. The 4 of Wands is this card of celebration, happiness, togetherness. It's kind of known as the marriage card. you know, I like to think of it also as the card of jubilation. And that just kind of came to me, but the card of jubilation. So maybe you're going to be feeling sort of like this reinvigoration with this relationship with the Knight of Wands. Or this could be you, because maybe you have some fire energy that you're looking to develop. But let's see what else we have for this. I'm going to cut the deck. The Knight of... Oh, uh-oh. 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 Are people fighting over you, Capricorn? Are people fighting for your attention? Okay, we have two knights. We have the Knight of Wands and we have the Knight of Swords, and we also have the Four of Wands. So this is one of two things. This is kind of like a little dramatic, actually. I kind of like it, but because I'm a helpless romantic. So if you are single, I think one or two things are happening. Either you might be the Four of Wands. You might be feeling like you are going to be marrying this new self, this new you, this new version, and it's going to give you this sense of jubilation, and people are going to start to take notice of it. So you're either going to have someone who's the Knight of Wands, like I said, a fire sign, either an Aries, a Leo, or a Sag. I'm feeling the last two. Or you might have a Knight of Swords, which could be a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, that's actually going to notice your pheromones and your light kicking up, and they're going to be really interested in you. Like I said, if you're single, or this could really be you almost having your own pick of which one to go to. Do you want to be with the Knight of Wands, or you want to be with the Knight of Swords? This also can mean the marrying of these two energies. So it does not necessarily have to be with a person, but this also can mean the coming together of this fire energy and this air energy. And when these things come together, it actually is going to create a sun in many ways. I like to think of it as like when you bring this air and you bring this fire energy together and you kind of condense it and then you pull it apart, it's going to create this radiant sun. So that could be what this is about as well. So maybe this is about you bringing your passions and also your ability to communicate your passions, and you're convicted by it. You bring it together, you marry these energies, and then you create this spark. At the top, you see here how there's a spark coming from its horn. So maybe that's what this is. It could. I'm a hopeless romantic, so that it could be that. Like I said, if you are single, you definitely could have your pick between one of these two people. Like I said, it could be a fire sign or an air sign, or just someone who has those qualities. If you are partnered up, I see this as you probably embodying one of these energies and the other person embodying one of the other energies. It really depends on what else is in your chart or what you're developing at this current time, and bringing those energies together in a more harmonized way. So let's see what else we have going on. We have two knights. That's interesting. I've been drawing the Knight of Swords for a lot of people. I think this is only the second time I've drawn the Knight of Wands for a sign. That card was kind of slipping out, just trying to sneak out of there. What is it? We have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So perhaps a desire to give back. But in order for you to really give back, the giving back is not going to happen until the end of the month, though, I feel. And then we have three more cards, excuse me. So we have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Six of Swords. That's one other six. We have the Three of Wands. We also have the Magician card. It was reversed, but we also have the Magician card. Okay. So I think what's happening here is that you're going to be feeling this desire to want to give back. I think it's because you're kind of realizing that, the world is shifting forever, and, the world is your oyster and you are the pearl. So it's like you're kind of understanding more so than a lot of other people that, when this world does make a shift, that we still do need some sense of order, and you want to be able to give and provide your service to other people. But this is only going to come after you do this purge with this new moon solar eclipse, and you actually begin to plant seeds of manifestation. That's going to be you committing to the new you, because this is really what this is. This is you becoming a new you, And then simultaneously, your relationships are going to really change and alter because of the new you that you adopt. But in order for you to be able to be giving, you have to kind of do some things first. First, you have to do the Six of Swords, which is you're going to have to leave behind an old thought pattern. You're going to have to leave behind an old thought pattern and kind of fly above these doubts and these worries and these fears that are holding you back. Now, it's interesting how in the card there are crows here. And I've been saying that with this card lately, that it's like flying above the doubts and the fears. And crows are actually incredibly intelligent creatures. And the thing about fear is that it actually can be an incredible motivator when you understand its purpose. Because fear wouldn't exist if it didn't have a purpose. So Capricorn, what I see this as is that, there may be doubts or fears that might be coming from you, or it might be coming from other people that are going to be whispering things in your ear, and you're going to have to use discernment to kind of put fear in its place, but also understand the value that comes from that, if that makes any sense. Because, like I said, fear actually can be a great motivator. Now, it's a terrible ruler. If you allow fear to rule your life, it is absolutely terrible at that. But it actually can be a decent motivator for us to want to push things forward and get things done. And it actually can actually push us to expand. Now, it's naturally a more contractive energy. I know this is contrary to what a lot of people would tell you within the spiritual community, that fear can actually help you to expand. But depending upon the way that you look at it, because it's all about perception, depending upon the way that you look at it, it actually can help you to push out and to expand, right? We have the Three of Wands, which actually speaks to just that, expanding your horizons, moving things forward. We have to consider that, Jupiter is actually going to be coming direct soon. So for you, this is, the 11th house, which it has to do with people and the world and, society and stuff like that, and naturally ruled by Aquarius. So it's like you definitely do want to get back and kind of show people that, hey, you are the pearl, and you are this beautiful, sparkling, incredible stone that this oyster has created over time. And yeah, it takes work, it takes effort, it does take time, but you absolutely can manifest it. But there's a big, beautiful world out there for the taking, and it really just requires you to fly above these doubts that whisper in your ear. It's not that you want to allow these things to contract you and be like, oh no, I can't go to other places in my life. You want to be like, oh no, I absolutely can. So you're going to be kind of on this cliff looking out and being like, now that I am this new self, now that I am coming into this new me, and I'm really wanting to share this light with the world, and become this beacon, you're going to be kind of looking out and it's like, okay, and examining, like I said, as Jupiter is coming direct in your 11th house, you're going to be really figuring out, okay, what can I do for society now that I have come to this new level, in this new state? Then we have to consider, of course, this isn't really a July aspect, but when Jupiter comes into Sagittarius, which it'll be home there, but for you it's the 12th house. So even spiritually, you're going to be becoming more aligned with, wanting to bring forth this service. But you have to go through this period right now where you really do have to transform who you are. You're going to transform who you are, personality-wise and ego-wise, in your actions. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to want to help. But then, of course, when Jupiter goes into Sagittarius, your 12th house, it's going to require you to really, it's going to be you reestablishing your faith. We have the Magician here, so you're actually being called to really manifest greatly this month. And let's also look at that lunar eclipse, which is happening for you in the 2nd house of Aquarius. So this actually has to do with manifesting and bringing things into the physical reality. But the lunar eclipse, it reveals in many ways the current moment of how things are, and it's a release point, but it's also a planting point. Some people like to think that full moon is just when you release things. It's also when you plant things. It's also when you plant new intentions. This goes for all full and new moons, right? So it's like this full moon, you're being revealed back to that which you have manifested into your life so far. Your levels of self-confidence, your levels of self-worth. We have to consider that this is also going to be conjunct the South Node, and at the same time conjunct Mars, which is retrograde. So it's like you're going to want to take actions, right? And you're going to want to help people, right? And you're going to be really kind of tapping into Jupiter, which will be direct by that point in your 11th house, naturally ruled by Aquarius. So it's like you even want to expand upon this, but you really have to consider, now with that South Node there, are you going to be trying to push people into a particular box, even if you think that's what's best? Or are you going to allow people to actually kind of flow and come more into their own sense of connection? Now, I think you can become a great leader, and you are kind of like a natural leader of the zodiac, or at least you're the natural boss of the zodiac. But it's like you kind of have to tap into your opposite energy of Cancer and develop more empathy, which is like, I know Capricorns don't necessarily want to hear that because you guys don't want to get into your emotions, but since this is happening along your axis, this new Moon Solar Eclipse, you're going to have to get into your feelings, so it's like you're going to really begin to feel like, how do you feel about your relationship with yourself? How do you feel about your relationship with a romantic partnership? Family, of course, is huge because this is Cancer. What is your relationship with your childhood and your inner self? That is really important, your inner child. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and just cut the deck and draw a card about the inner child for you, because that's really, really important. We actually have the King of Cups, which is asking you to have compassion. To have compassion for your inner child. I want you to actually do a practice. I want you to like close your eyes, and you can do this anytime throughout the month. And you should just do this, just integrate it intermittently. You don't have to necessarily do it every day, but kind of make a practice of like, in this, you can augment this by, if you have like a picture of your younger self. But I want you to imagine your younger self, and you guys are both in a completely white room. In a completely white room. The floors are white, the walls are white, the ceiling's white. It's completely white. And they're standing there, and you're standing there, and you might notice some emotions on their face. Like, I'm doing this right now, and I can see that he's crying a little bit, but he's also kind of smiling at the same time. He seems to be thrilled that I'm there. And I want you to go up to them. I want you to kneel down to their level and put your hands on their shoulder. And I want you to tell them that, hey, I love you. You've made it. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are absolutely worthy. And it's okay. You are absolutely right in feeling everything that you're feeling. But it's okay. I'm here. I will never abandon you. I will never abandon you. I never did abandon you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I love you. And just hug that inner child. Show compassion for yourself. Show compassion for yourself, and I promise you, you will really have a really deep transformation where you actually will feel like you can give back to the world, Capricorn. Let's draw a few more cards, and then we're going to get into the Sacred Traveler Oracle card and the color card as well. Ooh, that one. Okay. I'm going to take that bottom card out. So we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Tower, and we also have the Eight of Swords. So this is what's happening, right? So you're going to be kind of charged up emotionally, and you're going to be going for the Holy Grail. And you're going to, and this can come in the way of like, you might be emotionally charged going for like a better relationship, a romantic relationship, or a relationship with your family, or maybe a business, just something that you're trying to manifest. You're going to be going from the place of your emotions, actually. It's going to be kind of odd for you because normally you're just pretty action-oriented, but it's like, and you're not really getting to your feelings. You kind of, think logically, and think in practical ways. But this time, it's almost going to be like you're going to kind of become like a helpless romantic, actually. The Knight of Cups is the hopeless romantic. So it's like, but you're going to channel this energy, and it's going to be dependent upon, what you're manifesting. But you're going to become this hopeless romantic, and you're really going to start to go for something that you really, really want. and this is going to come because you have shown compassion for yourself. We have the Tower card, which means that something is going to be falling away, but I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal for you, because look what we have. We have the Ace of Swords, which speaks to you being convicted and you really stepping into your truth and communicating that truth. I think what the Tower here is like, you're going to kind of just be abandoning this old structure that you have up, that you've been trying to uphold and keep up, and you've been working yourself so exhausted trying to keep this tower up, but it's decrepit, it's old, there's moss growing all over it, and it might look beautiful, but it's like now it's become home to like a bunch of animals, bugs, and owls, and all this sort of stuff is there, and no one really wants to go in there anymore. You know, it's kind of like that that subreddit on Reddit. It's called abandoned porn, which is a really cool subreddit. It just like shows like old, decrepit, and dilapidated shacks. But that's kind of what this is, and there's a beauty to that. So I think that's kind of why you've been holding on to this tower or to this structure, and it's going to be kind of like you're realizing that, you know what, I can go for more. And I can actually have something that actually fills me up more, because that's what the Knight of Cups wants. The Knight of Cups wants to be filled up emotionally. So it's like if you show compassion for yourself, like I said, like that King of Cups, and you fill yourself up, you're not really going to be worried about leaving this behind. It will go down as a good memory, regardless if you've had negative experiences there, perceived or positive. It's going to go down as a good memory. It's like, you know what, that was something pretty cool that I built. But you're going to be working on building something even greater, grander, bigger. Because we have the Ace of Swords. So you're really going to be convicted. You're going to really be speaking your truth. And you're really going to be bringing this forward, this passion. Really what I see this as is that you are going to be marrying your new self and integrating this into your life. And it's going to manifest in a very amazing way. Let's go ahead and do the Sacred Traveler Oracle card. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to draw your color card first, because that was the deck I picked up first. But I'm just going to put this one out to the side and come back to it. Because this is the deck I was going to pick up first, so I'm assuming that Spirit wants me to draw your healing card first. Which, actually, for all the signs, I've drawn the Sacred Traveler Oracle card first, so this is interesting. But sometimes that's how Spirit works, you know? Okay. Alright, what do we have for you? We have Lemon, which is access innovative thinking. Remember I drew the Six of Swords earlier? This is actually you accessing that innovative thinking. And this is even going to come even more so when we had that lunar eclipse in Aquarius, because even though for you that's the second house, Aquarius, you know, it's a very cerebral energy, and Aquarius is a very innovative energy. So the first half of the month is really going to be you showing more compassion for yourself and showing more compassion for the new evolving you and what you're coming into. And then over the course of the month, you're going to start to access this innovative thinking. And the Lemon's a very interesting card. So anything to do with yellow, like yellow therapy would be cool. Like walk through a field of yellow flowers, or even just switch the wallpaper on your phone or on your laptop to something yellow. Even if you only do it for a week, it will actually help you to really augment this vibration. We have Desert Passage. Wow. We have Trust There's a Divine Plan. So I'm literally just kind of getting an image of Jesus or some prophet kind of walking through the desert, and then it's like, I haven't done this, but I really want to, but it's like you see the stars, you know, out there at the desert, and they said that really mystical things can happen out there. So it's like, it's almost kind of like you're going to be kind of going on one of those, I don't know, it's going to be kind of like you're going to just be going into nature in a bit, like a nature retreat, and that actually might be a good thing for you to do. And just kind of just trust that you're being guided in the right direction. Because I think right now what's happening with you is that you're kind of holding on to this old structure, but you know it needs to fall away. And it's going to fall away because, like I said, Pluto's in your sign, so you really have no choice. I think you also sense a lot of the energy that's coming because we're preparing for all this energy that's about to come into Capricorn. You know, the South knows about to come into Capricorn. Saturn and Pluto are about to meet up, and then Jupiter will come into Capricorn soon too, and within the next year and a half to 2 years. So there's going to be a lot of Capricorn energy, and I think that you are really starting to channel a lot of the energy that's going to be happening around that time, and you're wanting to prepare yourself so you can help guide people through that time. Because you are a Capricorn, so you actually will be able to help people, guide people through, like, how can we transform with all this Capricorn energy. So you have to just trust that you're being guided, that there's a divine plan, and that, yeah, things may seem arid, things may seem scary, things may seem doubtful, things may seem scarce. It's funny, the desert, it seems scarce, but there's so much life in the desert. There's so much vibrancy within the desert, even though it looks desolate, even though it looks dead, like there's nothing there. But there's so much vibrancy there. So I think that's what's happening, is that you're going to be kind of coming to this space where it may seem desolate, it may seem scarce, like there's nothing there, and because you've been holding on to this old structure, and you're going to be coming to like this newness that just seems barren. But the truth is, there's a lot of hidden gems there just waiting to be uncovered. That is it for your reading, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and tap the bell to receive all the notifications I put out on this channel. I would really appreciate it. And if you would like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below too, theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.